Tonight, you'll see an unbelievably cooperative criminal, surveillance cam footage of a casino full of dumb criminals, and some dumb criminals who have serious car trouble. All this and more on America's Dumbest Criminals. Welcome to America's Dumbest Criminals. I'm Daniel Butler. Our constant study of the criminal mind has led us to formulate several truisms regarding the criminal mind, such as the buses don't go out that far, and the lights are on, but nobody's home. Join us now in scraping the poop from the shoes of justice as we open the files on America's Dumbest Criminals. Ed Leach and Robert Cox prevent some slime balls from slipping away in car trouble.
I was on patrol and I was checking on my drug houses, and I saw a white Datsun station wagon with a primer fender and different colored door side, and I stopped it, and I knew everybody who was in the car. I mean, they talked to me. And
okay, Greg.
Sounding good, Doug.
You get your tail light fixed, all right?
Yeah,
I can tell your friend's drunk here, so you need to get him on.
Get that tail light fixed, man.
All right.
Thank you, Officer Lee.
About 3 hours later, a robbery goes out. Give a description of the car, matched it to a T. I talked to the officer who worked the actual robbery, and he told me that one of them was so drunk inside the store that the others had to come back in the store and grab him and drag him out of the store. So it didn't take, say, an hour and a half. We had them all rounded up, all charged with robbery, and they still could not figure out how we figured out it was them.
Because he just written the driver a ticket an hour ago, so he had ID on him, so he knew who it belonged to and all. I remember went up there and picked him up.
How'd you find us so fast? I mean, what are you guys, super cops or what?
One, you gave me your driver's license. Two, it's only a half-hour show.
And we could do a mini-series on these idiots. ABC quiz number 463. A crook in Missouri found himself unable to break through the ceiling of a local business. What stopped him? Was it A, the overhead lighting in which he got tangled up? The correct answer was C. To add to his embarrassment, there was a fashion show going on at the time. Next, a feeble-minded schoolgirl finds crime isn't all it's cracked up to be.
It's on a traffic stop. A young lady, she's on her way to school. I pulled her over for speeding, and she couldn't show me any driver license, any ID, or nothing like that. So I said, okay, fine, then just show me your registration. She said, I don't have my registration. I said, well, I'm going to look in your glove compartment. She said, you can look all over the car you want to, but you cannot go in my glove compartment.
No. No, you can't look in there.
Ma'am, let me look in the glove compartment.
I know my rights. I know the law. I watch TV. You can look anywhere in this car, but you can't look in that glove compartment.
I said, oh, okay. No problem. So anyway, she didn't have any ID or nothing like that, so I automatically arrested for her driver's license. So then that gave me the right automatically to go in the glove compartment if I want to, because I was going to tow the car. So I opened the glove compartment, and it was packed with $400,000 worth of rock cocaine.
Ma'am.
See? I told you the registration wasn't in there. Can I go now?
From the ABC Security Cam Vault. These dumb criminals are concentrating on robbing a casino. They are so busy with their work, they don't notice how much noise they're making, banging drawers, knocking over chairs. However, these patrons do notice, and they alert security that something is amiss. At which point, the dumb criminals realize it's time to run off, or at least fall clumsily over the front counter. But it's too late. The cavalry has arrived in the form of a single officer, who nevertheless is enough to send the whole gang fleeing into the waiting arms of the police outside. Ted Chamberlain remembers some kids with leaky brain pans in Keys to the City.
Well, this kid goes up there. He's a pretty good kid. He was up and steals a car. Real nice one. A nice car. Kid takes off with the car, right? Goes and picks up his buddy, right? So the two of them, they go down to this car wash. They wash it and everything else. I mean, they got it looking good now, okay? And then they go riding to show everybody off this nice car they stole. Well, they want to go to this place called a hotel. But they don't want to drive this car there because there's a bunch of other hoodlums. They don't want everybody else to steal this thing from them. So they hide it behind a school, which is close by. They get out of the car, close the doors, and they go walking off, right? They come back to take a ride. They lock the keys in the car. So they said, God. So these guys call a locksmith. So in the meantime, The cruiser looks, he sees this car, and he runs a tag, comes back, cops watching him. Locksmith goes over there, unlocks the car. They pay him $30. Right, everybody jumps in the car. The cruiser comes out and says, hey, what are you doing? Boom, off to jail.
Later on tonight's show, a dumb criminal who gets way too much starch. If you're a police officer, active or retired, and you have stories of the dumb criminal in action, please contact us at America's Dumbest Criminals, Post Office Box 1628, Franklin, Tennessee, 37065. We do compensate officers for stories, and you can reach us on the internet. Next up, Harry Knowles recalls a guy with sticky fingers and a slimy brain.
Another case, back a few years, we were having smash and grabs on drugstore burglaries where they'd smash the front glass out, go in with a pillowcase and coat hanger and grab all the Class 1 narcotics, rake it in it, get back out. Well, it seemed like this particular gang had a little set up on several of the drugstores. And on this one particular one, we managed to apprehend one of the individuals involved in it. Well, he had the best time going, 27 seconds, from the time he smashed the door out, get in, get the narcotics, and get back to the getaway car and get away. Well, he didn't have any of his buddies to witness his time. The only way that his story could be substantiated was with his time. I convinced him to give us a confession if he wanted his time known to all his buddies.
I'll be your witness. I'll verify it. Okay? Verify? Yes, I can. Official document. I'll verify it. All right, man. How long did it take you? 27 seconds. 27 seconds. Fellas, right here. 27 seconds. Yeah!
He admitted to the burglary as a result of getting his time of 27 seconds published and went to prison for it.
In New York, it used to be against the law to weave while walking on a sidewalk, but you could slip and slide and peep and hide. Next up, a dumb criminal living in Fantasyland claims she's married to the man.
All right, back when I was working narcotics, part of my duties was to investigate forged pharmacy. I walked into, showed them my ID, told them who I was, and the lady says, "Oh, I just talked to your wife last week."
Yeah, she was a nice lady. Very, very nice.
No,
I think it's so nice that she's helping you out on the investigations. Real
she
nice
is.
lady.
Right away, I knew something was wrong because I wasn't married.
Donald, right?
So I was saying, well, exactly what was my wife saying?
Well, she was asking about Dr. Cox. She was asking how to fill out a prescription. You know, she was over here at the side. She was hanging out, watching everything. She knows just what to do.
Yeah.
Very nice lady. And her haircut. Oh, cute.
And when they started describing the lady, I knew exactly who my wife was then. It was a lady that I'd arrested several times before for the same thing. I went out to her house, knocked on the door, and she came to the door and said, "Oh, Officer McDonald, how can I help you?" And I said, "Well, Susan, you've been going in these pharmacies again." And she said, "Oh, no, that's not me, that's not me. I swear it's not me." And I tried talking to her. Then finally I said,
"Well, just one other thing. When is it that you and I got married?"
You married to me? I don't think so. You really think I'd marry a cop? That's a really funny joke. You are so funny.
No, come on.
And she went back to jail.
Do we really have to get married or something?
No, we'll see a judge.
And now, J.R. Johnson with the story we call No Pets Allowed.
I did stop a guy on a traffic stop one time and asked him what his hurry was, and he told me that his dog had to use the bathroom. I've got to use the bathroom, but his dog had to use the bathroom, but there was no dog in the car.
Must have been one of those invisible, though.
Yeah.
Now we take you inside the courtroom for trial and error. From actual courtroom transcripts, proof that Mom knows best.
Ms. Patty, you were walking through the revolving doors just as the bank robber was running through. Is that correct?
Yes, and I told him to stop.
And what did you do when he continued to flee?
I said, "You just wait till your father gets home, son."
Later tonight, a dumb criminal who's so dumb, he glows in the dark. Next up, David Hunter recalls a man who...
One February night, temperature was about zero, probably with a wind chill factor of 20 below. Got behind an old vehicle that was being driven erratically on a rural road. He saw my police car, saw the lights on my car before I turned them on, and he apparently panicked. We came out of the car, faced each other from about 20 feet away, and I said, don't even think about it. Of course, he did. He turned, jumped into a creek where the water was about waist high, and I watched him wade away. Well, I knew that there was no telephone and no place where he could get inside except the lot where I was sitting or a bar up the street. So I positioned myself to do some paperwork. About 30 minutes later, he waded out of the woods, attempting to make it to the bar where I was surveilling, but his legs had frozen, his blue jeans had frozen.
I'm freezing. I'm going in for a beer.
No, you're gonna come with me.
You got beer in the car? Hurry, let's go.
Put your hands on the hood.
Oh, it's warm. Oh, thank you. Oh, God, thank you.
Nothing like the warm hood of a police car when you're iced. Next, Dan Newman reports on a smooth operator who's got his number.
I was just in paperwork, and a guy calls up, and I knew it was long distance. And...
Hello.
Hey, man, I'm looking for some drugs, and I hear you guys can get anything. Can you get me some ephedrine?
Well, gee, look, I don't have it here with me now, but I got a couple of guys that can hook me up, no problem.
I said, I'll set you up with him.
Can we meet somewhere out in California?
And I'm like, all right. And we made a connection with him, met him in Barstow, California, and sold him $60,000 worth of ephedrine.
Hey, man, you got the stuff? Yeah, I got it. Pretty in white. That's what I'm looking for. All right. You got mine? I got mine. Let's see what's here. All right. Hey, man, I'm curious. How'd you get my number?
I got it off the bathroom wall.
No kidding.
It said, you're the man who can take care of everything.
Well, I sure am glad you called.
Gotta go now.
All right, man.
Police!
Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
See your hands?
Get on your
Get
legs!
down.
Get
Let's
out!
go.
Get
Get
out!
down. Let me see your hands, buddy.
Curse on Sunday. Violators would have their mouths washed out with waxed playing cards. Retired Officer High Powell proves that a poor workman blames his tools.
One time there was a fellow who was an old burglar, a safe burglar here in town. One time I saw him in his backyard practicing climbing a rope. So I kept watching him, and I saw him load a lot of tools into his car. But later that night, I happened to mark his tools with a fluorescent pencil. I listed his name and address, and that it was his property, and called the Las Vegas Police Department.
Eddie, you broke into this place.
No, I didn't break this
These are
building.
your tools.
No!
And lo and behold,
Let's look and see.
that night he was arrested. I put a fluorescent light on his tool handles, his hammers and chisels.
That's your name. Your
Yeah,
phone
that
number.
is my name. But in the divorce, my wife got the house, the car, and all the tools. All I got was the crock pot, and I can't even cook.
And that was his name and address and phone number.
A crock pot for a crackpot. Next up, a dumb criminal who literally asked for it. Search me.
While working with the narcotics unit, we were on a particular street corner checking out some of the local drug dealers, a small group of them there. While we were out talking to them, another guy came over.
Hey, you guys want to search me too?
Well, normally you would think someone who offers to be searched probably not going to have anything on them.